Hi, America. This is Eddie Marcus again. I had a problem a moment ago. I ran out of space on my recorder here, and I had to stop in the middle of a thought. My subject matter, and this is part two, is when we're talking about honesty. Russia claims to be more honest than America, that America is dishonest and Russia is honest. Now I'm going to jump. I think the last thing I was talking about was the hypocrisy that we had been displaying in the things that we do, and which was pointed to by Putin. We were saying how Putin is over there lying to his people and people believing that he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. He's defending them. He's defending the people of their caring about in Ukraine. And we, the people over here in America, is obviously aware of what's going on. And not only we here in America, but the people of the world who are not engaging ourselves to stop that monster. Why? Because we are fake. We would only appreciate getting involved to that degree to stop it is when that monster come on our own shores. And we don't want a handout. We want you to defend us with planes and everything you have available to defend us or defend any nation. That's what Ukraine wants, and that's what they're not getting. And what we are doing by our actions today says that when it comes to any of our borders, we're supposed to get the same treatment. Here we are, right, ladies and gentlemen, in America, as I was saying, the same things that Donald Trump is doing. The very same things Donald Trump is doing, lying, just telling lies, calling it alternative truth. And all of the people that's been elected by people who wanted them to be honest and tell the truth, all they're lying, join on the thing with Trump. And we here looking, not knowing who to trust, because now we are, according to this statement, of this truth, and this alternative truth, we become hypocrites. Nobody knows what the truth is, don't know who to trust. And where did this stuff come from? Usually, it came from the evil. But who is perpetuating it across this country? You got these guys out here who have been hired to defend us. I don't know if I said this in the last video. The Department of Justice. This guy has just been hired by Joe Biden to come in and defend us, to do for us what Bill Barr would not do. And now, every day, Trump is out, and everybody knows that all of the evidence is available to him, just like what was happening in New York, where the guy got all the evidence, they ready to take Trump to court, and then somebody's coming to office and say, we're going to stall it. Where the heck did that come from? You got this man out here doing all these things, messing up this country every day that he's out running his mouth, and the Department of Justice head being paid by you, the people, is sitting back there doing something, he says, but what he's doing, he's not satisfying us. He's not doing anything to take that man's mouth off the street or put some tape around his mouth. No, so what is that doing? That's defeating us, and you can't call that democracy. You can't, that's wrong. When you know it's wrong. And the man is still in office. Joe Biden, why you don't fire them? I'm not saying. But it gives me the opportunity to say, these are people who they call high-class people, important people. Most of them white, but a lot of blacks in there. You know, they got this facade thing now, how they want to still pretend like it's okay. So you allow for a black president. Oh, America has got to change. America got a black vice president. Oh, you know America has changed. America got a black justice. You know America is changing. All of these things, America got even rich black people. You know America has changed. I'm going to ask you this. How many people are homeless compared to those that got the benefits? How many people don't have jobs compared to those who we just got through highlighting? How many people are suffering, can't have health care, go to school? How many do they exist? They do exist, which means, ladies and gentlemen, to me, and I don't care how you feel about me, but I have to tell you what has been given to me. That tells me that all the people everywhere, if you're not trying to do the right thing for everybody, it's because you're corrupt. Now, I know you feel like some other people are so corrupt and make you look like you good. But in the eyes of right, you are as corrupt as anybody else. You are as corrupt as anyone else. And as a person, just like you, I'm an average Joe Blow. Average, just like every last one of you. Most of us are just average people. We don't try to be above or bigger than anybody. And we don't try to put ourselves beneath anyone. We feel comfortable with who we are. Sometimes we know people look at certain things as being respectable and other things that's not. But when I come here and speak to you about the things that I've learned about you never having to worry about food again, that's something that's been given to me. That should be something that you appreciate. Now, you know you're not going to get that from food. You know you're not going to get that from, let me see, you're not going to get that from a dictator anywhere. You know you're not going to get that from a democracy anywhere. You're not going to get that from socialists anywhere. You're not going to get that from communists anywhere. So that tells you that all of those different systems of government are attached to the same thing, evil. Evil. Because, see, if it's not evil, there's no certain such thing as some people making it. You see, when it's not evil, the whole strive is to conquer it for everybody, free everybody. That's the whole strive. When you start out, what is your goal? To free everybody. Every step you make is to make sure that everybody got access to those things that are essential for survival. Every step you make, every move you take is to make sure that people aren't suffering, because you, as one that represents righteousness and love, this is the way it got to be. And you're not yielding or bending to anything other than that. And if anybody want to try to threaten you by killing you, that's their next move, bro. That's your next move. Only the devil change. Love don't change. They can wake up. Why? Because they're wrong. You can't. You can die, but you won't. Why? Because you are alive. I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, as Americans, we are talking about what Donald Trump and those guys are doing, trying to split this country up. It's already happened. We're talking about what they plan to do in 22. They plan to hope that they can get back some power so they can turn America into the same kind of evilness that they got in Russia. They are saying we're going to turn, this is what the Republicans are saying by their actions and words. We get the power, we're going to do the same thing to America that Putin does to the people in Russia. Whether you like it or not, this is exactly what we're going to do, and this is exactly what they're saying. And even they're putting people in position of power so they, again, can steal the election this time. They tried last time. The whole country, the whole world knows that they tried to steal it. They weren't successful, but they continuing. They haven't given up. They're continuing putting that muscles to it. And their plan is, as soon as they get that power, it's over. They're going to take it. So you would think it would be incumbent upon all of the other people who are not trying to be demonic to stand up and stand for what, not trying to just to defeat Trump, but standing, giving representation to the things that's proper. Giving representation to the things of love, giving representation to the things of God. And those are the things that I have been mentioning to you about essential. It's a whole thing. It's a little packet. Let me see if I can say it in a second or two. Everything outside of you belongs to God. Everything inside of you belongs to God, but God has given it to you for you to use. And He's given you a choice to use it as you have learned to use it, as you want it, good or bad. He's done that. Good is going to do everything He can to take you out. Good is going to do everything that lift you up. Bad is going to do everything it says to lift you up, but it's to take you down in relationship to good. And you, the people, are the one that gives that life. How do you feel, ladies and gentlemen? How do you feel when you turn your television on and you see the Wild Kingdom? You see a leopard or something, and you see maybe an alligator. I don't know how they two get together. And they're trying to find some way to overcome the other for a meal. Or maybe it's one of those big snakes that's going to wrap around somebody and choke a whale out just so he can eat or swallow a whale. I mean, that's something greedy. But they're out there trying to take a gazelle or any kind of animal. Just, yeah, take him. Now, you sit back, some people might say, wow, watch this, and enjoy it. But for the most part, people can't, that hurts to see something like that happen. And if it hurts to see something like that happen, what do you think happens to see two men, each one of them with a gun, aimed, pointed, ready with the hands on the trigger, ready to assassinate somebody or to kill somebody in war, and then raising the hand up talking about how great we are, the great communists, the great democracy, the capitalists, the great socialists, all of this stuff, great what? And you're nothing but tools of Satan. Tools of Satan. Tools of Satan. America, think about those little children. I mean, you got children. Go down to the elementary school today. Go out to your elementary school. Look at all those little kids when school is out. Look at them. The kids are just exciting. They're the future. You know, you used to be like that. And they're just waiting, hoping that everything, they're not even, well, they're not hoping, they just trusting that everything's going to be all right, that parents are going to handle it. If they only knew what we're going through, black against white, men against women, straight against others. Man, this is the most foolish stuff I never could have imagined this. Even though I've been living it all my life, I never thought it was hopeless. I never thought that we would be sold out like this. You know, there have always been some crazy people. When I say crazy, I'm talking about people who loved evil in our country. But we, for some strange reason, for a long time, never expressed it like Trump brought it out. And then Trump brought it out. Wow. He has brought it out so much that now we got news stations in America not only telling us the same thing that Russia is telling those people, but they're using the information that by us in Russia to take all over the other parts of the world to say, this is America. See, this is what America, they're telling us about themselves. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? This Build Back Better stuff, this whatever we've been talking about is not fit. It is not but a cop-out. I suggest that if we're going to make a change, let us make the right change. If Putin will kill everybody, get everything their way, then let us stand up to make sure that everybody gets their way in America. And I'm talking about those things that are common amongst us, those things about life. I'm not talking about that prejudice stuff, that hellish stuff, that evil stuff. And we can't do it alone. It's going to take all of us. And let me tell you this. I heard something this morning that I know is good because it's going to tell you what I'm trying to say. I was talking to an older lady today, and she says, how do you feel? I said, well, I don't feel too good today. She said, oh, then don't just say that. Just take what you feel and tell the Lord thank you. I said, no, I can't tell the Lord thank you because I ain't thankful for this. I'm going to ask the Lord for better. Oh, now you're getting out your way now. Just leave the Lord. Let the Lord handle us. No. If I got to do any talking, I'm going to talk for the better. I'm not going to sit here waiting. And the conversation kind of evolved to a state where we were saying something about how people act and how people respond to act. And it ended up saying to this effect, that stand up for what you believe is right. And if people ignore you, turn and walk away. I said, and then what? Well, just go sit down. You know they're not going to listen. I don't know. That's not, I think that's one of the saddest things. Because I said, I wouldn't do that. I go straight forward, trying to make sure that what I'm trying to do is accomplished. She said, well, you see, you just asking for trouble. Ain't nothing going to happen but more trouble. See, that's what I'm talking about. People are ready to go through any kind of trouble for evil. But to stand there for right, no trouble. No trouble. And so the whole world is going to hell because of people believing like that, no trouble. My friends, let me say this to you. I don't know who's going to heaven or hell, nor do I care. With me, that's my least concern. But I want you to know that if you ever want the peace and stuff that I talk about or that you talk about, it's going to come because you brought it about. I heard a preacher say the other day, when I started talking, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen until Jesus come and do it. Jesus come and do it. Those same scriptures says Jesus not coming unless he's coming back for a church without a spot or wrinkle. That means it's already done. But that one that says that what do you call it? That lie that we've been spawned says that. So we who think you're loving the Lord do nothing. Just sit back on your rear end doing nothing while the devil consumes you. Wow. And you think God gonna do something? When he told you what to do, you say, well, my preacher didn't tell me that. Okay, that's your preacher. You lied. Your preacher didn't lead you wrong. It is you that led you wrong. Your preachers out here doing what they do. They say, well, how you gonna hear? I don't care what they say. Preachers out here doing what they do. But whether you are a good person or a bad person is your responsibility. If you never heard a preacher, if you all heard preachers, that's your responsibility. Now somebody say, well, I'm talking so long. Well, the people in Russia who all they hear is Russia telling them what they are being told, and they accept that as truth. That's their alternative truth, and they follow it. I say yes. And still, after all of that, they are responsible for that act. They were taught that, but they're responsible. Why? Because every individual, it's innate in every individual to know right from wrong. It's innate in every individual. So don't you just think just because you fall in suit to somebody else, that's your excuse. No, that ain't your excuse. Not before God. You might be excused before the law, but not before God. In God's sight, you do left or right. You make your choice. Whatever you use. Because I tell you, right now, I know most of you who started listening to me kind of cut me off. But for those of you who are still on it, I know you don't want me to be talking right now. One or two of you still do. But I got nothing else to do. I'm living in a world of sin all around me. And I want this stuff to change. And I can't do anything but talk right now. You know, I'm speaking out. I'm really trying to see if I can wake you up because we can be out here together. I'm not talking like Donald Trump. I'm going to walk down there with you and don't go. You stand out there and act like you're ready to do something, brother. You will not walk alone. Until next time, Eddie Marcus. Goodbye.